Hello, hello, hello. Hey guys, how are you doing out there? I am so happy to be back on this platform with you. Those of you that just tuned in, and those of you that are coming in, you are tuned in to Bravo with Sheila. Ladies, let's chat. And I'm so happy tonight to be here. I have an incredible guest. I'm telling you, it's going to be an awesome night, some great information, empowerment. This is going to be a blast, I'm telling you. And so I want you to just chill, sit back, put your feet up, do what you got to do. You know, when you come to Bravo with Sheila, you bring your cool beverage. What am I having tonight? I have a Pellegrino, and it is the dark Morello cherry and pomegranate. What do you have tonight? No judgment here. If you got a cocktail, that's okay with me. Whatever it is, as long as you're comfortable and you got something where you can just relax. I have an incredible, incredible woman tonight. We are spotlighting Dianne. I'm telling you, we became fast friends. We are sister friends. That's right. And she's so incredible with information. She's an incredible artist. She is a life architect. Now, you know, come on now, a life architect. I love it. And you're going to love it too, because she has so much quality information. This platform was designed for women, with women in mind, to build you up, to encourage you, to give you resources, to educate you, to help you move from pain to power and from power to victory, to get you moving maybe from a broken place, maybe from a happy place, but just to push you up and pull you up. That's what it's about here. We talk about topics that other people don't want to talk about, meaning the church and other folks, because things need to be chatted about, right? We need to chat about certain things. A lot of times we as women can't get where we're trying to go because we don't have a platform to really share, talk, and get information from an authentic place. So I am so excited tonight with my guest. Her name is Dianne. She is a life architect. That's right. She talks about finance. She gives us information on the myths about life insurance. She talks about generational wealth. It's so much. You know what? I'm going to mess it up because she can really do it better than I can do it. But I'm telling you, this beautiful, spirited woman cares about people, women, families, culture, and I want to bring her up in a minute. And I just want you to get ready. Just sit back to hang out with us for another 45 minutes to an hour so that we can do our thing and offer you some information. All right. Let me bring her up. Let me turn down Facebook. And hi, Facebook. Hey, Facebook. Thank you for being here with me tonight on Bravo with Sheila. Ladies, let's chat. Pastor Danica, bless you, sweetie. Thank you for being here. I tell you, I'm so excited. We had some great conversations. Yesterday, I went live and I talked about being misunderstood prior to the list. We got so much coming. We have the author, 7 authors of a book, Stepping Into My Purpose. They were on the week before talking about their current book. It's so much that's going on over here in these YouTube streets with Sheila. So listen, let me bring my guests up so you can see this beautiful lady, Dianne. Thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure. Good evening, everyone.
I'm so glad you're here. I am so happy. We anticipated this for a long time. It was no way I couldn't invite you on the platform. You have so much information to empower people in general, not just women. And so we welcome everybody. Get ready because we're going to unbuckle our seatbelts and we're going to take off. We are, but in a moment, we'll be right back. Stay right there. All right, I missed that.
Very exciting.
Yes, 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 yes. Welcome everybody to Bravo with Sheila. We're going to get into this. I'm telling you, I am so excited. Yeah. Welcome, Dianne Job. How are
Thank
you
you.
tonight?
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm fine and wonderful and being in your company and the company of your guests.
Yes, our guest.
Yep.
Our guest.
Our guest
Yes, our
tonight.
guest, right? There,
Yep.
this will be up forever, right? This information, people that'll pop on
Mm,
tonight, people that will come on later will see this information. I'm telling you, we've been having a great time here
mm,
on the platform with some awesome, awesome guests, awesome topics. I mean, we were on fire last week when we had an
mm.
esthetician on and she talked about skincare. I mean, we just open up everything, everything. And we have a lot of great content coming forward. But tonight is your night.
Uh,
Spotlight on D and Job. That's right. Spotlight on you, sis. I'm telling you. And so we're going to give you your claps. There's your bravo. Oh, we give you
mm.
your
Thank you.
bravo.
Thank you. Thank
Bravo,
you.
bravo, bravo, bravo. Yes, yes, yes. Bravo to you for all that you do, all that you do. So I
Mm,
want to chat with you. I want you to open up with some things. I want you to tell. I usually start out, I let people know that this is not an interview, this is a chat. And so those of you that are watching, I want you to move over into the chat, put some comments. Tonight we're spotlighting Dianne Job. We're giving flowers out while she's here. So I want
mm.
you in the chat encouraging her. I want you asking questions, comments, anything you'd like to say to us. Get in the chat. Hit that chat button and come on over and start getting involved. I see it's 4 people on right now. Those of you who have not already hit that thumbs up, come on, hit that thumbs up. It's rough in these YouTube streets. The thumbs up matters. It really, really matters for those of us who are content creators here on the
Mm.
platforms here. So anyway, and if you're new, you can hit the subscribe button and hit that bell so you know when I go live. And here's my faithful, faithful sister, Ine. Ine, God bless you, sis. You're back with me again. I'm so
Ladies, let's do
happy.
that.
Yes, she's so faithful, Dianne. She's so faithful.
Mm,
Yes, thank you so much for being here, sis. You know I love your presence and I love your vibe. Yes. So listen, Dianne, let's get into it. Let's talk about, first of all, God bless you, Carl. Sing, God bless you. We got men in there. I'm loving this. You're going to love this
mm.
information. Let's just jump. She says, hey, Dianne, she's greeting you. Ine is greeting you.
How are you? How are you, NA? I know what your first question is, you know. I know your first question.
So listen, let's talk about you. Let's talk about where you were raised, where you were born.
Mm,
It's so many facets and so many lanes to you, right? The Lord always puts so many different dynamics in us, right? Not just one lane. There's so many branches. But tonight we're talking about you being a life architect. And also I want you to touch on, we'll get to you being this great artist. Your work is incredible. Maybe
mm.
you can give the website so people can go and see your beautiful artwork. Oh my God, how talented you are with the brush. And so let's chat a little bit about where you're from, where you were raised, and how you segued into the business of being a life architect and what it means to you.
The piece with how I segued into being a life architect.
Because it was a segue. But let's
It-
start like where you were,
indeed.
because you're from
Um,
Trinidad. And so
yes, I
let's
was
let's
born in
go there. Let's
Trinidad,
take the journey to the island and then bring us into the US.
beautiful island of Trinidad. I tend to be homesick for there around now, where we have to face so much snow and so in New York as we speak. But I
Yeah.
am from Trinidad, and I spent more than my childhood. I I I lived both in Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad and Tobago is a twin island state, and we're just about 7 miles from Venezuela.
Okay. Okay.
And I lived first in Trinidad, and then I lived for 5 years in Tobago. So I have full claim to both islands.
All right.
And I left when I went to college. I
Okay.
did my college in Barbados.
Okay.
Still a Caribbean girl.
Yes, you are 100%.
That's right. That's right. And it was a great place to go because it was basically where folks did law. That's where they went to do law. I was
Mhm.
doing management studies. That's what
Oh,
I graduated with my undergraduate with.
okay.
And that was exciting and fabulous because all the lawyers from the Caribbean who were trained at the University of the West Indies at the time went to Barbados.
Okay.
So I was able to meet a lot of Caribbean people. And I traveled around the Caribbean and, mainly to the homes of my college mates.
Mhm.
And so that has a very important part. That was a very important part of my
Absolutely.
formation. Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So
Yeah.
when you came to the States, when you came to the States, because I know you're a world traveler, um, tonight the information, when we talk one-on-one and privately, and you're so versed and so educated, and I know your heartbeat is for our people and wealth and generational wealth
Yes.
and the the
Yes.
the advice you have for children, for parents that have young children, how to set them up now. It's never, you say it's never too late to get into a position. And sometimes people are fearful and they say, oh, I had in life insurance or whatever, and it lapsed. And then they also, people feel, well, I don't have enough money. But talking to you, it's not about having enough money. Let's talk about some of the things. You start wherever you'd like to start in educating and sharing about the first basis of, I know it, it's a lot, and I know we can't do everything in one sitting, but let's touch on some of the things that is very important to you, that you feel is important to us as a people and people in general. Culture
Mhm.
diversity. Hmm.
Actually, I will go a little way back into life architect and connect it to
Okay.
what I do with helping people think about their finances.
Okay.
Because before getting into that field where I fully occupy as a financial professional, among other things,
Hmm.
I was a coach, an executive coach, a life coach, a parenting coach, and I helped people with different facets of their life. And the piece that was always missing, the piece that affected all the other pieces, was the financial piece. So I
Hmm.
feel really at home when I sit with a person. I find myself focusing a lot on the financial, mainly
Hmm.
on the financial now.
Hmm.
And people are delighted that
Yeah.
they could not, they can cease being ashamed to talk about their finances. As a
Hmm.
matter of fact, through the pandemic, it's discovered that a lot of people do not have savings to live beyond 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, which is the basics. It's
Hmm.
important to have, work towards having 6 months savings. And
Hmm.
there's a process to doing it. And
Yes.
it's not a necessarily magic formula. It's a way of sitting with a person and figuring out exactly what they do, what their spending is like, and to develop that plan, a nice
Hmm.
basic plan, so
Hmm.
that, when catastrophe comes, you might lose a job or whatever, you can live a little while whilst you look for another job.
Hmm.
So I am delighted to be in a place where I can speak intimately to folks about organizing their finances. Before I did that, I did a lot of work with helping people organize your closet,
I know
organize
you.
your
I know you
room.
love that. I told you, you haven't helped me yet, but you're gonna get over here.
Yes, absolutely. And it's such a pleasure. And it helps people start moving along in life because now they can see something that they've put order to, and it
Yeah.
represents the order that is to come in their life. Every
Yeah.
time you open your kitchen cabinets or you walk into a room that is delightfully beautiful, or
Yes.
you open your closet, that's you. So
Right.
it helps you project into the new you that's becoming. And
Yeah.
similarly, I had
Mm-hmm.
some notes here, but who cares about notes?
That's right. We flowing. We're
Yes.
flowing. If you need
And
them, you pick them up. But
similarly,
it's a flow on this program.
yes.
Go ahead.
Similarly, in regards to finances, people are delighted. They think, "Oh, I'm not making enough money. When I'm making enough money, I'll talk about it." No, 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 no.
Mm,
The best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago.
mm,
The
mm.
best time to do anything with finances is 20 years ago. But if you didn't do it then, now's the best time. Not tomorrow.
Right,
Not the 1st of March.
right,
Not
right,
not on my birthday, not on Christmas Day. The
right.
best time to start is now. Really,
Yeah.
really, you know? And if I leave people with nothing else, I leave them with that. And
Mm-hmm.
then, something tangible, a place to start, and they can see that they can have $1 million babies. Their children can be, you know,
Yeah.
earners and savers and
Yeah.
wealthy.
Let me
And
ask you that. Let me put a pin there because as you're speaking about the children and about the $1 million baby, you're talking literally. Literally, you can have your child. So let's go as we park a little bit, break down, give an example
mm,
of an age of a child. And if you start out, let's talk from a toddler to maybe a teen or something, and talk about some of the opportunities that a household or single parent or a double parent home could have for their children, their grandchildren. Now, let's just park there for a second because I know the children are dear to your heart.
yes, they are. They are. I did parenting coaching, as I
Yes,
had mentioned earlier,
yes.
and working with parents around children's challenges and going from one stage to the other is just my delight. And in terms of finances, it's important, first of all, to it's two things are important: modeling good financial habits for the young ones and having them exercise,
Mm-hmm.
their
And he has a
financial
comment.
muscles as
And they
well.
say, I have vowed to be a better example of finances for my son, nieces, and nephews. Yes, and nay.
Absolutely.
And this is her lane. This is her thing. I just
I
set
will give
some
you an
things up.
example.
Yeah, I
Yes,
set some things up for my grandchildren, and they're not even toddlers anymore. They are actually young adults. And Dianne has put something great in place. I've moved her around a bit in the family. Even if you have a policy, you can get that second one. Anyway, I'm gonna let her keep talking. Talk about examples, because you talked a lot to me, and we've got things going on, and so
absolutely.
that's why I'm so excited to share it. So
Absolutely. But
talk
I want to
about
give
that.
you this example
Yes,
about what I did
absolutely.
for my dearest niece.
Okay.
I have no children,
Mm-hmm.
but I've had success with parents in terms of the guidance that I've given them about parenting.
Mm-hmm.
And in terms of a tangible example, where I worked with my niece, she was very disappointed with me when she was a younger child because everybody gave her toys and clothes and stuff. This auntie will give her a beautiful postcard, and in it, I would have gone to the unit trust. That's in Trinidad, where you grow units like
Mm.
it resembles investments, little investments,
Okay.
and I will deposit money. And every birthday, I will deposit money. And she's so pleasant. Thank you, Auntie. But I know what she really wants.
Right.
And when she accomplished something major, I'll give her a big deposit,
Mm-hmm.
never money in her hand. And when she was older, one day I showed her what the deposits totaled. And she looked at me like, yeah, so just that, towards savings to start with, and I went and I made it so that when she was 18, she had direct access to the
Mm-hmm.
money. And I think it was within, the last 2 years or so, I had a discussion with her because she's used to paying tithes.
Mm-hmm.
She goes and she pays regularly 10%, not really pays, return those tithes to God
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
on a regular basis, and it's very automatic for her. And I asked her, "Are you saving?" And she said, "No, Auntie, I don't have enough money." I said, "What if you take another 10% and you put it aside for yourself?
Mm-hmm.
You've already practiced this. So, whatever income you get from your jobs, your odd jobs, that type of thing,
Mm-hmm.
get used to living without." I said, "Would you ever not return 10% to God?" She said, "Never." I said, "Love yourself." I said, "Start with loving yourself,
Mm-hmm.
you know?" And I use this example, and it may not be so easy for folks who have children to raise and this and that and the other. But at the same time, $20, start with $10 to
Mm-hmm.
put aside somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
figuring out the somewhere is the important thing.
Yeah.
I sort of am sidestepping, specifics in terms of how you segue into insurance. It's an
Mm-hmm.
important instrument to
Mm-hmm.
use to build wealth for yourself, build
Mm-hmm.
intergenerational wealth,
Yes.
to amass money for savings, emergency funds, to, you know, plan for later on in life when you retire, to plan for your retirement,
Mm-hmm.
but in terms of figures, I never walk around with figures. For example, if you do this for a young child, this is what you're going to have.
No, and I don't want you to talk about figures. I just want you
It,
to talk about the benefit of
yes.
getting young children,
Oh,
putting
absolutely.
security around even infants
Yes.
and toddlers, and you know what I mean.
Yes.
To of course not the figures, because
I
everybody's
don't remember.
dynamic is different, and we're not talking about numbers. We're talking about the principle,
Yes.
and letting the
Yes.
mindset understand that there's no one too young or too old that you can secure, because a lot of our people, because we're spenders, and because a lot of our people were not taught, for the lack of knowledge, a lot of people I know in America have not had a lot of sound guidance when it comes to finance and money, right? And so when you get older, you find out, well, wow, oops, my circumstance or situation caused me to not to have a lot put away, and they think they're doomed, but they're not, because
Not
you can
to
start, because you said you can start anywhere. Yeah.
anywhere, anytime. And I'll speak about the adult and then
Hmm.
tell you the benefits of
Hmm.
having, starting 20 years before, or 50 years
Amen,
before.
Ine. Amen, Ine. Hmm.
So, like, when I sit and I chat with adults, I chat with them about their income. What's your income? Their most important asset is their ability to earn. So why not protect that? Why
Hmm.
not bear in mind, if this income ceases to be, what is your household going to be like? That your children mightn't live in the same community, might live in the same house because
Hmm.
one income is gone. So let's plan first for that income. And then we
Right.
plan for children's education and other things.
Right.
And as an adult, if you're planning through such as an insurance instrument, you may not be healthy enough to get insurance.
Right.
So why risk that?
Right.
Why not make sure it happens? So that's why I started with the adult. I'm going back
Yes.
now. Go back when you're healthy, as
Yeah.
healthy as you're ever going to be. You
Hmm.
have a healthy child. So wonderful, start then. And
Hmm.
then in terms of the figures, now I'm at the figures. It is such a fraction. It is so small
Hmm.
what you would expend to, have a policy where the child is the insured. So that's a very interesting thing. And when you do that, you remain the owner and you could utilize the cash that is building in that policy for
That's good.
child's education, for
Yes.
example.
Explain that. Because here's another, I don't know if these are myths or anything, but here's another concept that people have about
What you gonna
policies,
say?
right? So there's the term and there's the whole life, right? And so most terms end when you're 80. But then there's a situation now, and that's triggered. You triggered my mindset because even if it's term, as you save on top of the term, when the term is over, you have money there where you're not without because you have a cash flow, you have capital there.
All right. So the term is a defined in a defined period, whether it's 1 year, 5 years, 20 years, 15 years. So that's
Mm-hmm.
what it's for, a term. It is
Mm-hmm.
very inexpensive. And
One second. And Nay, do you know the person Vasca Poco that's in the chat right now? Vom.ong. Do you know who this person is? Okay, carry on, Dianne.
Mhm. um, where was I? Yes. So term is for a specified period. Somebody might choose, wow, over a so and so period, I want to make sure I have coverage. Or while my children are growing up, I want to make sure if anything happens,
I got it in A. I got it. Go ahead.
all right, I want to make sure that if anything happens to me, that my children, my wife, my husband can have income to cover them. So they might choose to do a term because it is the cheapest policies.
Mm-hmm.
It 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 is not the same if you choose life. It is for life. Once you're paying the policies, this insurance would cover
Mm-hmm.
you. Once you're paying the premiums,
Mm-hmm.
this insurance would cover you for life.
Right.
And that's really exciting because in addition to that coverage that I just described, there is cash value growing inside your policy that you have
Right.
access to.
Yes.
You have access to. It
Yes.
starts off growing very slowly, but then it grows bigger and
Yeah.
bigger. And and
Absolutely.
and you have a very good idea what that growth is going to be even before you decide, yes, I want to have this policy. And people are often in awe. Are you
Mm-hmm.
serious? So it does cost more. The premiums are higher than in term. That's on
Mm-hmm.
one hand.
Exactly.
But you plan, we plan. I sit and I plan with a person. When are you going to transition into this? And how are you going to transition
Right.
into this? At
So
that,
you stay with an individual throughout the process.
absolutely. We make a plan. What is the piece I like, my dear sister? The piece I love is before sitting with my clients and my sisters and my brothers and planning for their life. What life do you envision?
For
That's the piece.
yourself.
That's the
Yes.
piece I like to talk about.
What do you
What
want? What,
life?
how do you see yourself?
Yes.
Yes. Where
How?
are you going?
Yes. 5 years from now, 20 years from now. When
Yeah.
do you want to retire? What type of retirement do you want? And
Right.
then we even project into what that type of income could be. And how
Right.
do you get there? You have to get there from here. So let's plan now.
Yeah.
Let's have, as I put it, a financial plan that underpins your life goals. That's
Yeah.
why I love the field that I'm in.
Yes.
Let's
Yes.
make a plan. Everybody can start. Let's start now. As a matter of fact, these are the stories I love to tell. What I find is when folks start visualizing where they're going and making plans, it starts happening. Their life starts, they see the promotions or the
Yeah.
job that they're waiting on. And
Yeah.
so they live more purposefully.
Purposeful. Because it's all
And
about purpose.
indeed, indeed. And that delights me.
That's
That
awesome. That's
delights me.
awesome. That's awesome. So if anyone have any questions in the chat, let me see what Ine is saying. Um, oh, thank you, Ine. Thank you. I blocked it. Thank you. I caught on. I kind of remembered from the last time you told me. Thank you so much, sis.
Great,
You
great.
know, you have folks that invade your space on
Mm,
YouTube and do all kind of unnecessary things in the chat and stuff. So, and they knows because she's on a lot of different platforms, and she knows I'm kind of new, so I have to learn all these different things
wow.
that go on. So I'm so grateful when she's over
Hey,
here with me. Yeah, I'm always grateful because, you know,
you have
she's
stuff to teach us.
she's a good sister.
Yeah,
Yeah,
God bless you.
yeah. So talk a little bit more about I know you mentioned about generational, and I know you're talking about that in the context of what you're saying, but generational wealth is very, very important. And I know, and they mentioned that she vowed to be a better, and let's put her comment up because I think this is so powerful that she vowed to be a better example of finances for her son, nieces, and nephews, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's so
Mm-hmm.
powerful, and so that's what you're talking about as far as that generational wealth, the
Absolutely,
generational wealth and the
absolutely.
teaching. Touch on that just a bit.
I feel for people. I've seen people when they're really aged and can't do very much, and they sort of think, what can I leave? What can I leave for so and so? You know, my granddaughter, my grandson. What can I leave? What can I leave? That's tormenting when it's not much.
Went by.
It's important to admit people leave a lot culturally and otherwise.
Yeah.
But we live in a society where money is important and it really reflects how we've done in our lifetime. So let's pay attention to that.
Mm,
And I like the idea when people walk away with a plan that allows them to do what they want in this life.
mm-hmm.
Not in their golden years plan to not do the things they want to, not make a trip, not go to, no, do that as well, but
Right.
plan for it,
Plan for it.
do it fully.
Yes.
And when you go, there's something left, there's a way to do it.
Yes. So Kathy says, as people get more money, like a raise, they live larger, but technically, how do you adjust yourself to stay at the level of finances until you were at where you
I
were?
understand
Yeah. You understand what
exactly.
the question is?
Yes,
Uh-huh.
yes. Brilliant question. Brilliant question. Some of the wealthiest people in the world, we don't know who they are. We don't, because they stayed exactly.
The
They lived
same.
in the same mother's home. So we have to get whole with ourselves in terms of this is good enough. On one hand, where I am is fine. There is upgrading that needs to happen, but I can plan for that upgrade. But
Mm,
more importantly, is the plan that you make for yourself. Is that
mm-hmm.
important to you? Are you willing to make the sacrifice? Hard work, there are rewards associated with hard work. And just remembering your plan and reflecting on your plan, because your plan gives you joy.
It has to be a
And
plan.
yes, absolutely. I
I
remember
like this question. As people get more
it's
money, like
rich.
a raise. Yeah, yeah, it's powerful. They live larger. That's true. We were talking about that. You get more, you spend more, but technically, where's the adjustment, right? There has
Mhm.
to be some type of adjustment to the plan so that you don't go outside of the plan or destroy the plan, correct?
Absolutely. So budgeting is good. You
Yeah,
you make a budget. People say, I'm not making enough money to make a budget. I say, well, you need a budget.
yeah,
If you think that, you really need a budget. So if you have a budget and your income goes up, guess what? You have a budget, you
right.
know? And it should take a lot of thinking and so on for you to decide, I need to buy a particular pair of shoes with a particular color sole because of, and then you ask yourself, does another shoe take you the same place?
Mm,
So it takes a lot of introspection and slowing down
and
before you go to
discipline.
the spending. Yes, it takes a lot of discipline. So it's good to have probably accountability partners, You know, I'm going to um, do so and so. I want to save so and so by the end of the year. What's wrong with saving that amount in 9 months? You
Mm.
don't have to wait till December. You can do
Right.
it in September. So let's assume you got a raise in September. Just accelerate your saving.
Mm-hmm.
It's so nice to pause.
Mm-hmm.
So say to
Mm-hmm.
yourself, let me pause. Even before I start that spending, let me pause. Even
Pause.
before I
Yeah.
go out celebrating, let
Yeah,
me
we know
pause.
about the pause button. We've been on that word all week in these YouTube streets. Yeah.
Get
Let's
it.
see what Ine says. Diane Joel, what do you can you see it? What do
What
you as
do
people do you think
people
is biggest hesitation to being intentional about their
about their
finances?
finances?
Oh.
What is their biggest hesitation? I guess it's where it really comes from. I mean, we have to build self esteem to face that thing, money. We have to
Mm,
believe we deserve it. We are billionaires. We
mm,
need to believe it. And
mm-hmm,
until we believe it, there'd always be hesitation. We're not
mm,
good enough. This is our image of ourselves. I remember, now I'm going to tell you a little part of me. I used to work in the prisons,
mm-hmm,
like Sing Sing and Bedford Hills.
mm-hmm,
And I was doing industrial psychology, it might have been. But I think this psychology is first, and then you see how it operates beyond that. So
mm-hmm.
I made all my prisoners write about who they were and how they saw themselves. And they saw themselves as just hanging out all day around the street corners.
Mm-hmm.
So if a person thinks that that's who they are, how are they going to behave?
Yeah, if they believe that that's who they are, exactly.
Yes, so it's important to remember not merely who we are, whose we are.
Yeah, that's
Children
right.
of a
Amen.
king. We are
A-
children of a king.
Amen.
So that's the place we start from, and that's where we get help to cease this hesitation.
Yes.
And we might stumble and have to pick ourselves back up from this financial plan and keep going, but we need to keep our eyes on the prize. We need to
Mm,
keep our eyes on our children being proud of us. We need
mm-hmm.
to keep our eyes of being able to give the basics, to leave
Yeah.
a legacy, all the things that's important to you. Need to be clear about it
Yeah.
and
Absolutely.
to help stick to it. So what's the
Yeah.
biggest hesitation? If you don't have people supporting, that's a big question. That's an awesome question.
Ine is powerful. She'll give out some good stuff, and cause you to think, you know,
Yes,
and
yes,
that is a barrier, the hesitation,
absolutely.
about being intentional,
What's my
especially
stumbling
about
block?
money.
What's my stumbling block? Am I
Yeah.
not good enough for this money? Why, as soon as I get it, I must throw it away? Why?
Yeah. I
Why
also
can't
think,
I plant it so that it grows?
yeah, and I think being educated, because when you're not educated about it, then you get a certain age, then you have a fear because you
Yes.
don't understand how money works, right? Because we have to respect a dollar, we have to respect money. And so I think a lot of times what rounded us as children and our cultural diversity, as well as our home culture, the culture inside the culture, you know, um, when you don't learn certain things and you're not disciplined to do it, like you talked about your niece, you showed her a pattern that she'll do for her children. You showed her that seed. And when you showed her at 18, the money you put away from her for her when she was younger, she was amazed at it,
You are.
right? So that's a power. That's a good question, Ine. Let's see. Kathy is saying, if we saved $1 a day, we could be in a different place, but we don't focus on the growing. We use it as we go along and say we're going to put it back. Bad habit. Yeah, that's my
I'll
sister,
put it
Cat.
back.
The Kathy.
I'll put it back. When?
No, that's a good
When?
one. That's what we rationalize, right? We rationalize so we can spend.
Yeah.
We rationalize, and it comes with a great discipline. And like you're saying, you're not supposed to deprive yourself totally, but there has to
No,
be
no.
within the plan. within the
Absolutely.
plan. Help, bless yourself and treat yourself, and don't go too far out of the perimeter, and I believe women, we really, really get into that a lot. We get into
Why
those
are you
places
blessing yourself every day with a pair of shoes?
because we like them.
Like
Oh my God. How
every
many shoes
day.
can you
Are
wear?
you
Like,
a caterpillar?
yeah, I look in my closet and be like, this is a shame. You haven't had these shoes on in 2 years. You didn't get a chance to wear them. Even
I'll
in the
give you a joke.
pandemic, we find ourselves in the store, because it's something to do. And it's like, well, wait a minute, where are we going? Like, you're not even going anywhere to wear these outfits, but it's just this habit. And Kat
Yeah.
says, bad habit, where that discipline, you got to just make yourself.
I put on a pair of shoes today and I remembered, oh my God, I'm so glad to still have these because I had to take it to the shoemaker. But
I
this
used to
story,
take, when the last time I took shoes to the shoe shop, I used to take them to get lifts years
I
ago.
do.
I used to take
I
them to get,
do.
look at
I
that. But
save.
you would, though, Miss Financial Discipline Girl, you.
But
Of course
listen,
you would.
I
Yes.
wish I can show you the shoes
Oh, my
because
goodness.
some time ago, when we were able to go out in COVID, I went to this luncheon, well dressed, and these beautiful pair of shoes. But when you have a lot of shoes, you can't wear them all. They
Exactly.
dry rot on you. I was, I had to shuffle out of this beautiful luncheon because the shoe just, you
You
know,
had
never
it sit in the
used.
closet too long. You didn't even wear
Exactly.
the shoes.
So
That is
I
so
took it
funny.
and I got it stuck, and it's as beautiful as ever.
That's so
You know,
funny. That's
probably I
awesome.
should show you.
That's so funny.
you know, yeah, my favorite shoes. But the thing is, we chatted so we can do this.
Oh my
So the
God.
thing is, if you have a beautiful shoe, save it. Save it.
Yeah, I know.
So I could have gone out and spent, $100 on another pair of shoes. But
Yeah.
no, $15
We
worth.
need a accountability partner when it comes to shopping.
Yes.
I love to shop. Let's see what Kathy's saying here. Do you believe you should leave all your savings to your children, or your life insurance of a good amount should be good enough if they are adults? Good question.
Let me tell you what I
Good question.
believe.
I had that conversation, I think, a month ago with
I
someone, and you go
I
ahead, go for it, Dianne.
believe that you need to live well. Really, really. As I mentioned earlier, not suffering or anything like that. So, if you put a plan for your life in place, you would have planned for your retirement. That includes having long term care. You know, you will plan so that if there's any life event, you are not going to have to sell the house and just
Mm-hmm.
have to remake yourself. So put plans in place.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And if you have a good insurance policy or good insurance policies, because it's a myth, people ask me all the time, you can have more than one. I said, yes, I have four, and that's
Mm-hmm.
not all. There'd be more.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a good plan where when you get to retirement, you can go into there and utilize that money to supplement your income. All right. Because we know that, in the past, we would rely on pensions and there are less pensions out there. We would rely on social security income, and people think that's going to be a lot. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
people who didn't declare a lot of income, those business people, for example, who are not declaring income, are not
Mm-hmm.
going to get large social security.
Mm-hmm.
So put something aside for your own retirement. And some folks utilize insurance plans. So they put the money into the plan, they purchase a plan. There's large cash values that they can utilize and
Mm-hmm.
at the same time still have the
Mm-hmm.
the cash. I've lost my word.
Mm-hmm.
Still have the face value of the insurance
Mm-hmm.
to leave to their children. You can
Mm-hmm.
plan for everything.
So,
And
as you saying planning and the saving piece, um, I love this part of the question. She says,
Adults.
yeah, she says, all your savings. She says, do you believe you should leave all your savings to your children? No. Or your life insurance, a good amount, or should a good amount, so a good amount should be good enough if they are adults.
The thing is,
Because I
what
know
I
you
have
think, yeah,
experienced
go ahead.
around
Yeah.
older people is that they want to leave something, and some people may have very strong feelings about not leaving anything. But in those, where you lie back on your bed and you're going getting frail and so on, and you're thinking back about, I would like to leave a little so and so for so and so. Leave 100,000 for this one, a little 250,000 for this one. You can do that. You can do that. You can plan to. But if you have irresponsible children, you wouldn't necessarily want to do that.
Hmm.
Do your heart, this is heart month, all right, where you exercise your love for people you love. You might want to say, yes, I do have this irresponsible son or daughter. I might want to leave something in a trust so that they might have something to fall back on. So we don't know what space you're going to be in. Some people prefer to leave all their money to charity.
Hmm.
So those are really personal spaces that you get into. But I've seen people change from, no, I leave nothing for, no, they are big men and women, and I've seen people go from there to, I'd love to leave a little something for so and so
Yeah.
and so. So plan for it, but
Yeah.
I don't think a person should be without
Yeah.
while they're alive.
Yeah, but I know people that think strongly about when they pass or setting things up, that their children are adults and they'll be fine. They need to take care of themselves, right? And then I've seen the opposite where they leave something for them, right? But I really like that question because someone was talking about that with me, I think a couple of months ago. That's why when I saw it, I was like, oh my goodness, here's this question about leaving your adult children, leaving them something is good enough. In other words, from the policy, right?
Leave
Leaving
them
them
something.
something.
You
Do
can
you
leave
believe
them
you should leave
something.
all your savings to your children? Well, mm, I mean,
I
well,
think I think we need to make sure we're not worried in our retirement. And
yeah,
if we do that,
yeah.
we leave something to our children.
Well,
If
my
we plan
mom,
well.
well, my mom passed young, suddenly, 58, suddenly. And we didn't know at that point it was only four grandchildren. It was me, my brother, my sister, and it was four grandchildren. I think I had two and my sister had three or something. Anyway, when she passed, we had no, and this was an average working woman. She was like, she worked at the post office, but she knew about money. And she always was telling us, don't mess your credit up. Don't mess, because they'll see your credit before they see you. And you got to save this, that, and other. She would tell us that. She didn't drill it and make us do it, but she would always be able to go do anything. Like, Mom, how did you do that? How did you get that? How did we get this? And when she passed, we found out each one of us, she left $10,000. Like, I'm like, where did she get that from? Like, she worked at the post office. How did she leave all of that money for the children and for the grandchildren when they turn 18? That's $60,000, $70,000. And each one of us got $10,000 that she never mentioned, never said a word.
It's a nice example to, even if you don't stay on a path, to have to sort of keep you on that path. That's great encouragement to the
Yeah,
people who receive it, because
yeah.
we are trying to make a difference in terms of intergenerational wealth. So much is missing in terms of intergenerational networks, intergenerational this, that, and the other. It's important to do what we can in
Mm-hmm,
terms of building the consciousness for wealth,
mm-hmm.
leaving something tangible associated with it,
Yeah,
because somebody, who was it, mentioned they want to leave an example for their children.
Mhm.
So
And
it starts with that.
they said that.
And
Yeah.
absolutely. So
Yeah.
that's the example. But I always say though, make sure you have a plan so that
Mhm.
in your very up to your very last day, you do not have to worry about money.
Mhm.
And then the extra will flow to the other generation.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate everything that you share. We became fast friends. Those of you who have not hit the like button, go ahead and hit that thumbs up for me. And we chatted a lot, and we talked about, you spent time with me. We talked about each one of my grandchildren, each one of my children. you know
I
um I,
feel like
I've
I know those who I haven't met.
Yeah, and
And I've met a
I've
few.
passed you around to a few of them. You've set them up.
Mhm.
It's amazing that even to my young granddaughter, who's a young adult, how I got something, even though she has something on the side. We started something for her, and I thought it was going to be, oh my God, oh, I can't, I don't have no room in my money for that. You was like, no, Sheila, it's going to be, and with your soft spoken self, it's only going to be. And I was like, oh, I could do that. And
Ah,
how much is the policy? Oh, okay. So again, the mindset that we don't have enough room or money
we have.
to get another policy. And so
We
I
have.
have what, two or three now, because it was a myth. Some of the myths. In closing, what are some of the myths that people believe? You already gave one. What are some of the myths that people have about money and insurance?
It's for the rich.
The
Well,
who?
it's for the rich.
Oh,
And
it's
that
for the rich. Oh,
yes. And it's when people say that, you know what they say? I am not worthy to be rich.
I am not worthy
They
to be rich.
suddenly exclude themselves. If
Wow,
it's true, why aren't you one of the rich? You
that's
can do it.
powerful.
It's in your hands.
That's
So that's
powerful.
that's right. You need to have money to do it. You need to do it to have money.
You need to you need to do it to have money. You got that right.
You know, it's
Yeah,
only for death.
yeah, yeah.
Like, oh my God, you are blighting my child. It's like,
Oh yeah.
no,
Yeah, that's
your
another
child would
one.
live whether or not you take a policy, they will live well.
No, that's another one that people get eerie about. Like, I can't see myself getting a policy for my young child. And I understand that thought. But on the flip side,
It's you
you're
saving
not
money.
saying your
You're
kid gonna
putting money
die.
aside.
It's like it's earning this money, is college money. But by the time they get eight, that you don't have to get a scholarship if you can. You got money that you started when they were young. So it's the mindset. It's a myth, those myths.
That mindset. Could you imagine? This child comes home from college. You encourage them to go to college. They study. They went off to college and they say, well, this weekend our friends are going to so and so and so and so. And it has an educational component, but the networking component, the enrichment component, and so on. And you don't have $3,000
Mm,
to say, oh, absolutely, go on.
mm,
If you had put something in place when they
mm-hmm.
were a child, you'd have way, way, way
Oh,
more than
sure,
$3,000.
sure, sure, sure.
So that your child is hindered or grandchild is hindered from going to the next level.
Yeah.
No, no, we can't afford that.
No, we
We
can't
can't
afford
afford
that.
to hinder. So
No.
put $10 aside, something $15 aside, something
Yes.
little. Start
Yes.
small, but with a plan and stick to the plan so that when you get your raises, you stick to the plan. As a matter of fact, you escalate your plan because you know where you're going. You don't
Right.
want to go to sleep that night with sadness in your heart. If only I could have sent them. That's not indulgent. That's
Yeah.
exposure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exposure. Every opportunity. My dad was a businessman.
Yeah.
He bought my first policy. I was a child and I
Mm.
benefited from my first policy that my
Wow.
dad bought. But any opportunity that existed for us to do anything and to go anywhere, you know, was a
Yeah.
normal man,
Yeah.
but he was able to do it because of the
Yeah,
vision.
you're right. And back
Yes.
then, and as you said that, I remember when we were younger, every paycheck, my mother would get a bond. She
There
would
you
buy
go.
bonds. And
That's
we
it.
had back then there was this bedroom set, and she would slide the door of her headboard, and then back there was all the bonds. She would just keep putting the bonds in. She would put my name, my brother's name, my sister's name, the bonds, the bonds. So, she cared, she had a mindset to about money, and she was good with numbers anyway. I think my youngest daughter got a lot of hurt. She's a whiz with numbers. I'm like, I don't
Mm,
want to claim it, but that's not my forte, right? So I really enjoyed this conversation, this
me
chat.
too.
Yeah, and Miss Life Architect, you are the life architect. When someone sits with you one on one, you really give empowerment, you give understanding. The plans are perfect. You don't feel inadequate. Nothing is too small, nothing is too large.
Mm,
But your thing is just start. So we thank you. I'm going to give you the last words to say to our guests. I'm going to bring you back in a couple of
mm,
months so we can chat again, because it's so much to talk about in this topic. So I'm going
mhm.
to give you the last words to say before we wrap up tonight to our guests and those that will see this after the fact. Ine, you are a blessing. Kathy, a
Yes.
blessing. Those of you on Facebook, Danica and Carl, thank you guys that if I don't see your name, I'm so sorry. I apologize, but I don't see your name streaming. But those of you that tuned in on Facebook and those of you that are here on YouTube, we thank you. And I thank you so much for coming to the platform. Know that when nothing changes, and you have to keep it moving. Tune in. We have the Tuesday. Tuesday is our relationship Tuesday. We got,
Mm.
listen, by popular demand, we had to bring C. Reggie Rogers back. By popular, he is a love coach. Oh my God, I can't even tell you. I'm telling you, the chat was on fire when he was here last month. And then you got to bring him back. You have to bring him back. Well, he'll be back on the 8th. And then this Tuesday, we have the authors of Stepping into My Purpose,
Oh,
coming on, 7 women who talk about how they moved from pain to power and power to victory and stepped into their purpose. We're going to chat with them. That's on this Tuesday, the 1st. And Nay says, thank you, Dianne Job. I learned so much. I tell you, I knew someone would get it. They would get it. And then she also says, let's see. That red clearance sign sticker puts you in a trance sometimes. Yeah. Yes, sis.
so you want
Absolutely.
to hear my last words?
I am going in 1 second
Oh,
after
all
I
right.
get our
Uh,
guests and let them see if I have anybody that I have skipped over,
oh
to make
no.
sure I got all the comments, giving you your bravos and everything. This was a really, really, really nice chat. I enjoyed it so much.
Me
And I'm
too.
going to allow you to say, get the last, whatever you need to say to the people,
Wow.
to the women, and to the people in general.
Mm. I am happy that I'm here, the month associated with love. You know, when you love yourself and the others in your life, you do things and you do it in a particular way. And that we just focused around money. No, it's about love and start with love for yourself. I love you all. I love you, sister. Thank you very much.
I love you too. And we're going to bring you
A
back.
good
And those
one.
of you, Kat and I have to jump on a Zoom, but we love the fact. And Nay, I'll see you in the streets. I'll see you in these YouTube streets. Guys, remember, when nothing changes, nothing changes. All right? Ciao.